Welcome everyone to another quick class from Seating Dynamics. Today we're going to take a quick look at maintaining posture by providing movement for the client. So what causes a loss of position within the wheelchair seating system? Well, lots of contributing factors could be responsible. First, there may not be enough postural support or appropriate postural support for the individual. It might be the client is moving away from a position of discomfort or pain. It could be that the client is seeking out stability or more function. But what we often see are clients who extend within the seating system. They might extend at the hips, the lower extremities, the neck, and there can also be, in combination with this or separately, large and forceful movements. Now, when a client extends at their hips within a static seating system, one that will not move in response to their forces, then that force is not diffused. And so the client does move, but in relation to the support surfaces. So now they've lost their position. So, for example, maybe the client is extending at their hips. They lift their pelvis off the seating surface. And then once that active extension ceases, the pelvis may fall back to the seat in a posterior pelvic tilt. The client may also extend at their hips, pushing with their trunk against the back of the seating system, and that leverage pushes the pelvis forward into a posterior pelvic tilt. And these clients often are unable to reposition themselves. With the lower extremities, because we can see often extension at the hips and the knees together, the client may leverage off the foot plates, elevating their pelvis and leading to a collapse into a posterior pelvic tilt once that extension ceases. It might appear the client is standing within their seating system. If the feet are not secured, the client may extend at the knees, and that is going to often pull the pelvis forward into a posterior pelvic tilt. If the client is extending or rotating their neck against a non-yielding head support, then the client may move into neck hyperextension, further rotation, or their head may simply fall forward because they've lost contact with the head pad of the head support. We might see large and forceful movements such as dystonia in combination with this extension or separately. And this is going to create movement in more than one plane, including rotation, which is really hard to control. So maintaining alignment as this person is moving in relation to the support surfaces is very challenging. So what do we usually do? Traditionally, we maintain posture of the client by blocking movement, and this often involves force and counterforce. So let's say we're working with someone who has a posterior pelvic tilt. Well, we may use a combination of posterior support to the pelvis, anterior support in front of the ischial tuberosities, and an appropriately angled pelvic belt, all in an attempt to lock down that pelvis. But now the client can't move, and if they do move, they will move out of alignment. So, how can we possibly maintain someone's posture by actually allowing them to move? Well, by allowing the hips, legs, or neck to extend through movement of the dynamic seating components, extension forces are diffused, and we are removing leverage. If a client has large and forceful movements, by allowing the client to extend, rotate, move through movement of the seating system, again, those forces are diffused and leverage is removed. So, how can optimal client position be maintained through movement? Well, movement diffuses forces. It takes the wind out of this client's sails. It reduces the ability of the client to find leverage. And so they maintain their posture once they return to their starting position. Thanks for joining us for this very quick look at maintaining posture by providing movement. If you're interested in more information, we do have a full 1 hour CEU course on this topic, which takes a deeper dive, and I would encourage you to take a peek at that as well. Thanks so much.